Hello there. So I recently did a poll. Now, depending on how YouTube subtitles auto-generates that, it can be a very different meaning. But anyway, poll, asking what players struggle with the most. And based off the comments, my dumbass didn't even give the #1 issue as an option. But hey, comments led me to it, so win-win. But if we had put it as an option, guessing it would have been the poll winner. Carry capacity, weight management. I mean, weight management ain't too bad. Just start with a 500 calorie deficit. But in all seriousness, do not fear nightmares, yeah? Unless you have problems like Walking Note does, I can't help you there, buddy. Let's get into it. Now, whether it's on my main account, which has Fallout first, or on my alt account, which does not, I carry far too much shit. Do I need 900 stim packs? No. I mean, it's currently 69 carry weight, so hell yeah, but I don't need that many. My entire chem section is unnecessary. Do I need this many weapons on me? No, I barely use any of them. I use like 2, but there's methods to the madness, and I'll break this into 2 sections for you. The no upkeep section, and then the constant upkeep section. But I'm going to include both, and then a weight management section. Now, I'm just going to say this straight away. If you're not bloodied, you're already fighting an uphill battle, but don't worry, because we will win the war. So for our armor, you don't need a particular set, but just make sure that the set you do choose has access to the deep-pocketed mods. This will give you plus 10 carry weight for each piece. Depending on the armor set, your chest piece can also have that, but a lot opt for other stuff like jetpacks instead, but it is still an option if you just want as much carry weight as possible. More importantly, for your legendary effects, Unyielding massively boosts your special stats, so strength is getting a nice buff, which increases your carry capacity. Then also finding pieces that reduce weights of particular categories like junk or weapons or chems, etc. are ideal. You're just going to have to find or hope the RNG legendary roll-in is in your favor for whichever one you want in particular. On the opposite side, for full health users, instead of unyielding, you're going to want weightless. You want your stuff weighing as little as possible, so it does not eat into your carry capacity much. You don't have an unyielding equivalent, so weightless is the go. Many forget about Under Armor, but you won't because you're awesome. But look for Under Armor sets like the Secret Service set, because with the correct mod, you can boost your special stats in it. In this case, Strength by +4, which is very nice. And lastly, the backpack. I always use the high capacity backpack mod, which means you get 120 carry capacity out of it in total, which is nothing to scoff at. And also, just because I see it quite regularly on forums, you can craft higher level backpacks, so check that you're using a level 51 and not a level 1 one. But for your armor, that's what you got to work with. In terms of your special, the only one that matters for carry weight is strength, so getting that as high as possible is your #1 priority. Now, in your perk card section, you can only get your strength to 15, but of course it can go higher than that. Now, something that not everyone will know is if you have the legendary perk card for strength maxed out, it of course gives you +5 and 5 points to work with. And because I do have a maxed out legendary strength here, of course we get those +5 perk points. So I am sitting at 11 here, even though technically on my build here, I only have 6 points allocated. But go to our special over here. Strength, we are at 32. But what you can do is, even though I only have it at 6 here, if we just grab some other points from a different category quickly, we can still buff this all the way up to 15, even though that's technically wasting those free points that we were getting. So while we still won't go past 15 here, what that will do is it'll still buff strength over here. So if you are just looking to get as much carry capacity as possible, then that is another way to use the legendary strength to your advantage. Now, your next biggest help is your perk cards. Now, I'm just on my commando build here, but as you can see, I have a lot of weight reduction perk cards everywhere. Now, 76 ain't a hard game, so most of the time you can go with quality of life cards and not all out damage cards, for instance. Plus, if you mainly like looting and collecting stuff and all of that, then yeah, quality of life perk cards are more your playstyle anyway. But Traveling Pharmacy, Bandolier, Bear Arms, Portable Power, batteries included, Through Hiker, I'm reducing pretty much everything I can, so there are cards out there to help with your weight management. Use them. Now, for bloodied builds, you are also going to want Radical, which boosts your strength, and also Strange in Numbers, regardless of your build, will help you out. Why? Because mutations. Marsupial in particular is going to boost your carry weight, and if you're on a team, then Strange in Numbers will buff it even more. So with all that said, sitting at 501, even more if I had that boost from Strange in Numbers boosting Marsupial, but for no upkeep, that's a really solid amount. There's also the Strong Back perk card as well if you want, but I generally don't go for that one. Camp items. So camp items like the weight bench will give you a small boost to your stats, in this case strength +2, so an additional 10 carry weight. It lasts for 30 minutes. Chem items can also boost your strength, so stuff like buff out or buff tats, psycho buff, just only one can be active at a time, but there's options there. Certain magazines like Grognak can boost your carry capacity or reduce weights on certain things. Strength bobbleheads boost your strength, certain alcohols can boost your strength like whiskey, and then food items, particularly a lot of meat-based meals will do it. I'm currently a herbivore on this character, so not as many options, but something like steeped fern flower tea can boost strength. For your meat-based meals out there, pepperoni roll especially, if you have the carnivore perk, I think it can get you plus 60 carry capacity. But again, there's definitely food options out there. The meat ones just have a lot more that directly boost your carry capacity. But again, all of these only last a certain amount of time, hence why I don't really bother with them, because I prefer not having to do the constant upkeep and cooking and finding the materials or resources. But if we do use all of these options, then we end up with something like 576 here. So can get quite the boost from them. And then the carry weight booster from Atomic Shop, boom, over 600. So yeah, you can get your carry weight pretty high. Now, having a high carry capacity is one thing, but what about your stash, especially if you don't have Fallout First, which of course helps massively. Well, firstly, back in the day, the stash was like 400, not 1,200, so these are definitely better times, trust me, but this is also why I carry so much stuff on me, hence my method to the madness statement from earlier. So some tips: chems are very heavy, so if you're storing them in your stash, they're taking up a lot of space, hence why I have Traveling Pharmacy on my character regardless of the build and not a backpack mod, because otherwise even just stim packs alone are ridiculously heavy. Same with heavy guns, I carry a lot of them because they're super heavy in your stash, but with bare arms, they weigh way less on your character. Other weapons tend to be lighter, so those chuck into your stash instead. The heavy guns will be like 2 pounds on your character with bare arms, but 20 to 30 pounds in your stash without it. And also, again, honestly, don't need that much stuff if we're being honest with ourselves, so just do some spring cleaning sometimes. Power armor frames are also your friend. Put your power armor pieces on a frame and then into your stash, since the frame only weighs 10 pounds, it doesn't count the pieces on it, or store them on your character with portable power. They only weigh 2.5 pounds per frame then. It's the little things like that that can make a big difference in the grand scheme of things, especially if you don't have Fallout First and a lot of your stash is going towards your junk items for crafting and modding. Your miscellaneous section, legendary modules also weigh a fair amount, so regularly using them is also advisable, otherwise they can add up really quickly. Same goes for repair kits and improved repair kits, they start to add up, so check your miscellaneous section regularly, also for other stuff like ores and tokens that you're not using, and just dump that stuff because a lot of it can also just add up really quickly without you even realizing it. And if any of this helped you out, do me a small favor and subscribe. But if you have any other tips, leave them in the comments to help others out. But for now, thanks so much for watching.